Awesome. Okay, so let's start on our backs. Have your block handy, and let's just extend all the way out into a Shavasana-like pose, but we're gonna activate our Shavasana. So start by softness. Feel the whole back body on your mat, really heavy. So feel the backs of your heels anchoring into the mat. You might even bring a little drawing of the toes up, so you are flexing the toes to begin. And then the backs of the calves, maybe the backs of the thighs and hips are heavy on the mat. And then noticing kind of from the hands inward, you're gonna spin the palms up. So the back side of your hands are on the mat. Heavy in the arms. Notice if you're still holding the shoulders, sometimes even as we're supported on our back side, you're still kind of gripping in the shoulders. So can you soften the shoulder blades into the earth, into your mat? And notice a slight pressing down on the back side of your skull. So not like so much that you feel like you're creating tension in the jaw or neck, but a slight pressing down. Nice, so there's activation through the feet, through the legs, but also a heaviness. Nice, from here, just give your both toes a drawing back towards your shins, and spread your toes, and then point your toes away. Pressing your toes as much as you can, pointing your toes, you're bringing energy and length and space to the top of your feet, top of your legs, and then draw the toes back. If you're getting any cramping in the calves, you're probably doing too much. So soften it back a little. But oftentimes if you're cramping during any asana poses, you're probably doing more than you ought to. So if that's your tendency, just noticing if there's cramping, and don't press so far, either back or forward. Nice, and then the next time your toes point forward, we'll just draw our arms up and overhead. Palms are gonna face inward along the floor above our heads. As you reach your fingers away from your toes, you might even pick up a leg at a time, walking the heels a little farther away from the waist. So you're really creating this full body lengthening on the side body, the front body, and the back body. Notice if there's any holding, can you soften into the support of the earth? Nice. As you draw your toes back towards you, you're actually going to draw your heels along the mat. Bend your knees, wrap your hands around your shins, around your knees, and draw your head in towards your knees. So you're in a little curled up ball now. And then on your next exhale, lengthen it back out. Inhale, come into a ball, squeeze it in. Exhale, back out. Just find a rhythm here, moving in your way, your pace. Letting the exhale really squeeze in, and the inhale really expand spaciousness. Nice. The next time your knees are drawn in, keep your head and shoulders on the earth. Lift and lengthen both feet up towards the sky. Flex the toes so the soles of your feet are pressing up towards the sky. Both sides of your hips are anchored into the floor. Reach your hands up, palms face each other, and then we're going to curl ourselves off the ground. So lift your head, lift the backs of your shoulders, reach your fingertips towards the front edge of your sticky mat, beyond your legs if you can. So you're really winding, curling in, low belly's drawing down. It's like tucking the chin, but not too much strain in the neck. And then lower yourself back down. Wind it back up, and we'll just pulse for 4, 3, 2, 1. As you soften head and shoulders, bring both feet back to the earth underneath you. We'll lift the hips for a sweeping bridge. Inhale, lift the hips up. Reach the arms up overhead. Palms face each other. Reach the fingertips out of the waistline, and then back to the earth. Nice. Keep the hands reaching up. Then the feet and legs straighten towards the sky. Curled up. Pulse for 4, 3, 2, 1. Feet back to the earth. Sweeping bridge. Lift the hips. Sweep the arms overhead. Just move between those a few more rounds. Grounding the hips. Feel the earth. Lift the legs. Pulse up for 4, 3, 2, 1. Reground, let the grounding lift the hips. Let the inhale expand, and exhale, reground the hips. We'll do one more round, lengthen the legs up, pulse for 4, 3, 2, 1. Feet back to the earth, find the earth, lift the hips. This time we're gonna pause in this bridge pose, so the hands can be reaching overhead, or you might bring your arms alongside you. As you inhale, lift the hips a little higher, expanding breath into the low belly. And as you exhale, soften the hips just down a little bit as the navel center draws in. So you're pulsing, little pulses up and down, really gentle, pulsing like a jellyfish. So as you inhale, there's that upward pulsation. And as you exhale, there's a centering, drawing in. One more time, inhale, a little lift. And then exhale, we'll soften all the way back down. So rocking shoulder blades out from underneath if you have that. Drawing knees back into center. Draw the knees, squeeze it in, tuck the chin, draw yourself up into that little ball. And then we'll plant the feet back to the earth. Great, from here, keep the left foot on the floor, draw the right leg straight towards the sky. Nice, hands alongside the waist, palms face down for support. From here, we're gonna pulse and hover. Inhale, lift the hips, press the right foot up towards the sky. You can stay in this hold, or you might pulse, doing some little pulses with the hover, or if you need release, you find the earth, you lift off the earth to your degree and re-find the earth. So those 3 options, pulsing, holding in stillness. You're doing a one-legged bridge here. Nice, if you're hovering the hips, we'll lower it back down, hook the ankle over, right ankle over the left knee. And we're gonna just windshield wiper the legs side to side. So bringing that right foot towards the left and then coming through center, drawing the right knee towards the floor to the right. Just back and forth a couple of times. Let yourself be drawn in by your sensation. Whatever you feel, maybe you start to notice your outer hips as you rock side to side. Perhaps it's the hip flexors on the front. Maybe you're feeling into the rib cage, the spinal twisting motion. Nice. The next time the right foot goes over towards the left, we'll pause. And for this one, the right foot, the sole of the right foot might come to the floor, or it might hover off the floor. But do have the inner or outer right heel pressing into the left knee. If you're not sure, this can be really confusing for head-mind sort of brain connection, you can look up on your screen. As you land in this little twist, you're gonna lunge that right knee away and out of the waistline. So you're creating this space in the outer right waist into the right rib cage. If you want a little bit more, you can reach that right hand overhead, palm faces in. You're gonna reach those right fingertips out of the right waist. So drawing a lot of energy and space into this right side rib basket. A little bit more lunge of the right knee away from you. Nice, and then back through center. Nice, unhook the right ankle, bring the right foot to the floor. This time left leg goes up towards the sky, arms alongside, palms face down for support. And again, here's where you have the option. Pulse and refine the earth each time. Maybe hover and pulse or lift to that full one-legged bridge and hold in stillness. Notice what's activating. Notice what's working. Become aware of where you can soften. Maybe where the energy doesn't need to be firing. Nice, we'll all lower our hips to the floor, hook the outer left ankle over the top of the right knee, and then windshield wiper side to side. Allowing this movement side to side to draw your awareness in. Notice what you feel. If there's any low back tweaking or discomfort, don't go as far. Twist a little less. So really having a daily movement practice allows you to just tune into what's going on in your body so you can move with a little more wisdom. The next time that left foot goes right, we'll pause so the sole of the foot can be on the floor, or maybe not. I like to actually hover my left foot off the floor, press the outer heel into the right knee as you lunge that left knee away. So there's a lot of activation. There's nothing lazy about this pose. Really reaching that left knee towards the front edge of your mat as you sweep the left hand up overhead, palm foot faces in, really reaching the fingertips out of the waist. Create the space, breathe into your left side body. Nice, one more full breath cycle. So that's an inhale and an exhale. Great, come back through center, unhook the ankle. This time we'll draw the knees in and just start to rock and roll along the length of your spine. We're gonna end up in hands and knees. So you might do a tricky little plant the hands, cross the ankles, come through. You might just find your way as you can to this tabletop position. Once you find tabletop, really spread and press into your hands. Stack your bones, hands are right under shoulders, knees are right under hips. Let's tuck our toes. So we're bringing activation to our legs and to our feet. This is a nice way to get a little extra juicy foot stretch, kind of multitasking. Great, from here, let's inhale, drop the belly, expand across the heart, wrap the tail up towards the sky, maybe gaze up, so you're in that cow shape. And then as you exhale, round into cat. So a few rounds just through that cat-cow shape, trying to attune yourself with how your spine is moving this morning. And then notice the conversation between your spine and your hips. How are your hips moving? How's the range of motion? Is there any discomfort or tightness in the low back for you? And then noticing as you roll through cat-cow, notice your shoulders and your neck. How was that conversation for you this morning? And knowing day to day, depending on the patterns of tension we hold or the activities we're doing, things change. And so it's always nice to just reintegrate whatever's going on. Just notice and then come through center. If you have a block, grab your block. We're going to put it on the lowest height between the knees and squeeze the block. So if you don't have a block, just keep your knees hip distance. So squeezing the block if you have the block. Notice as you squeeze the block, you're going to draw from your inner knee up into the groin. So the inner leg line is drawing up. Retuck the toes if you've untucked the toes. All right, so we'll start on the left side. So as you squeeze the block, feel low belly draw in. Reach the crown of the head towards the front edge of your mat. Nice. And then start to open that left leg in a fire hydrant. So you're externally rotating the left toes and the left knee out to the left side. And then come back to center. Allow that knee to ground, squeeze the block. Inhale, open. Exhale, back to center, squeeze the block. One more time, inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze. Lengthen that leg back. So you're hovering the left toes, hip distance. Make sure you're turning the toes down so the left hip point is turned down. Right hand reaches forward, you're in a full sunburn. So the right toes are still tucked. Sometimes if you're tippy at feet, it feels better to untuck the right toes, pressing into the top of that right foot. Hold in center. Really reach the right fingers out of the sole of the left foot as you spread the left foot wide. Hand back to the earth. Draw the left knee in. We'll step up for a low lunge to start. Bring the block to the top of your mat. If you have the block, tuck the back toes. Runner's lunge. So bring the hands to the block on the inside of that left foot. You might walk the left foot out for a little bit of a wider runner's lunge. Nice. From here, we're going to float the pelvis a little. So as you inhale, lift the back heel a little more. Lift the pelvis up. Draw the pelvic floor in and up. Low belly draws up. And then soften back down. inhale, a little drawing in and up, a squeezing of the legs in towards the center, and then exhale. So one more time, inhale, squeezing in, and exhale, soften. Nice. Right hand stays on block. Reach that left hand forward. Palm faces in. Reach the left fingertips out of the side waistline and then wrap the outer waistline back. Keep that left knee over the left ankle as you start to spin the heart toward the left. Keep reaching that left hand forward, finding length in the side body. So a variation of a twisting lunge to soften. You can always drop that back knee, right knee to the mat. Low twisting lunge. One more inhale to twist a little more open. And exhale, unwind. Bring both hands to the mat. This one, we're gonna walk that block out in front of the left foot. We're gonna start to float. This is a little tricky. It's a new move I've been doing. We're gonna float that left toe, bend the knee, draw in, and stick the right foot forward. So I'll show that one more time. Hands to block for support. You're gonna bend everything in, curl it in, and shoot the right foot forward. You end up in a half Hanuman variation. For this one, you can keep the left knee floating, drawing energy and spreading into the foot. If it's too much on the knee, ankle, or foot, drop that left knee to the earth, walk the right heel forward, and fold over your extended right leg. So half Hanuman, bringing energy, awareness into the back of the right leg. Nice, yeah. So enjoying that nice juicy foot stretch, or maybe it's really intense, or untucking the toes, having the top of the foot on the mat. Next inhale, we'll walk the block back in towards us. If you have that left knee to the earth, hover the knee as you draw that right heel in, keeping hands to block for support or hands to water bottle. We're gonna draw back through center, back into that runner's lunge, hands to the earth, step back, high plank. Nice, here we are. Holding high plank or choosing to soften knees down to the earth. Drawing low belly in. And then downward facing dog. Lifting the hips up and back, feet are hip distance, lengthening the full back body. Nice, we're gonna step the big toes together to touch. Before we move to the other side, let's take a three-legged dog. Lift that left leg up and behind. So you're as an extension of your spine, lengthen. Bend that left knee, just like tabletop. We're gonna externally rotate, spinning that left knee, left toes out towards the left. Mindful of the shoulders, keep both shoulders reaching towards the front edge of your mat. You can come to that hands and knees variation if needed. Come back through center, ground the toes to the earth. Come into high plank, inhale, exhale, down dog. A couple waves just like that. You're welcome to come through half plank and then perhaps a child's pose instead of down dog. So 2 more rounds, finding your way. One more inhale. One more exhale. So landing in either down dog or child's. Feel your breath flowing. And then if you're not in down dog, tuck the toes, lift the hips. Nice, then we'll come back to hands and knees, incorporating the block, bring the block in between the knees on that lowest height and squeeze the block. Hands are right underneath the shoulders. This time we'll move to the right side. So squeeze the block first. Feel the inner leg line firing up. Tuck the toes, so you bring a little energy to the toes and to the legs. Nice, and the next inhale, lift the right knee out to the side for that fire hydrant. And back through center, ground the knee, squeeze the block. Inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze. This time, lengthen that right leg all the way back. Take a sunbird, left hand reaches forward. Left palm faces in. So you have some slight external rotation, that shoulder joint, press into your right hand. Nice. Hand to the earth. Draw that right knee in towards nose to step up. Low lunge to establish your foundation. Bring the block to the front of your mat. Tuck the back toes, runner's lunge. Step the right foot out a little bit wider. Both hands to the block. Inhale, drawing legs in towards each other, floating the pelvis a little. And then exhale, settling. Nice, 2 more like that. Inhale, so you're engaging that inner leg line as you squeeze right leg in towards left, settle, soften. One more time, inhale, draw it in. Exhale, soften it down. Establishing that nice fiery lunge, both legs are alive, left hand stays down. Reach the right hand forward, palm faces in. Taking that twist variation, start to spin the heart open towards the right as you reach the right fingertips out of the waistline. Notice if that right knee wants to open. Keep yourself grounded into the big toe mound side of that right foot. Right knee over right ankle. One more inhale to twist a little more open. And exhale, unwind. Here comes that funky transition move. Right hand to the block, right in front of the right foot, both hands to the blocks actually. As you float that back foot, draw the knee in, shoot it forward. Left leg is long. Taking that floating knee or ground the knee variation of half pounded one. Use the block underneath the hands, making sure you're flexing the left toes. So draw the toes back towards you. There's engagement in the left leg. Use your breath, flow your breath. Nice. Next inhale, walk the block back. If you've got the knee grounded, you're gonna rock back onto the foot. And then see if you can go right through center. The tendency is you want to swing that leg out. See if you can rise up through the standing leg, draw back through center, runner's lunge. Step it back, find a plank. Down dog, send it up and back. Big toes together to touch. We'll lift and lengthen this right leg. Bending the knee, same motion as hands and knees, that 3-legged dog. Spinning that right knee out to the right. Noticing the shoulders, keeping shoulders squared. Back through center. Nice. From here, shift into a plank, half, or drop the knees. Full or drop the knees. We'll lower to the mat. So if you're lowering, drop the knees first so you have integrity along the spine. From here, hands walk under shoulders, untuck the toes, press the tops of the feet down. Inhale, cobra. We're gonna stay. So sometimes we float and lower. We're gonna stay this time. Zipping the inner leg line together, squeeze the inner legs together. And then using the breath to do that slight lift and fall. So as you inhale, you might lift a little higher, staying in cobra the whole time. Exhale, a little softening. Inhale, a little softening on the exhale. One more time, inhale. And as you exhale, come all the way down, tuck the toes, press through hands and knees or high plank, down dog. Walk the feet to meet the hands, come to the top of the mat. Have the block handy at the top of your mat. We'll fold forward, taking ragdoll arms here. Release your head, bend your knees if you feel a lot of resistance in the back body. Nice, bringing hands to the block. We're gonna use that same sort of inhale, exhaling, jellyfish-like motion. Keep the knees a little bent. As you exhale, you're gonna round and fold in, knees bend deeply, and then inhale, lengthen the legs in a halfway lift. Exhale, roll and fold in. Inhale, lengthening spine and legs. You can keep that micro bend in the legs when you lift. If you feel any tension, just moving here in the low spine or hamstrings. Next time you halfway lift, we'll just give it a pause. Lengthening the crown of the head and the heart towards the front edge of your mat. And fold it in. Keep that deep bend to the knees. The tuck of the chin, release the hands. We'll round our way back up to standing. Press into your feet as you rise and restack. Once you arrive, reach the hands up and through heart center. We'll take a few breaths in that Samasthihi. Mountain pose, hands in front of heart space. Notice here, you might close your eyes to bring your awareness really inward. Noticing your feet on the mat. Does it feel like you're pressing evenly into the right and left foot? Does it feel like the weight is evenly distributed between your heels, balls of the feet, and toes? So finding balance in your feet. And then as you find that balance, you're squeezing the inner leg line together and up into center. Great. From here, opening the eyes. Feeling really grounded in your feet because we're going to come into a balancing pose. Let's bring the hands, keep the hands at heart center. Left foot standing, right knee's going to draw in. I'm not going to mirror you. I'm just going to do the same side. As you stand here, we're going to open that knee just like we did on hands and knees. So opening the right knee out to the side, draw back to center. Right knee opens, draw back to center, right knee opens. Come back through center. We're going to lengthen that leg. Bring the hands behind the head. Fingertips join. So don't clasp your hands, just fingertips meet. Right leg is reaching out. If it feels like a lot already, lower the leg to a lower angle. If you want more, the foot hovers higher. From here, you're going to keep the right leg extended and long as you round and curl, tapping elbows in towards center, a little rounded. And back up. Inhale, draw elbows back towards the back of you. And exhale, round and curl in. You can also soften this pose by bending the right knee. Woo, little tippy. And one more, round and curl in. And back through center. Going right into one more standing pose. Release the hands alongside. Bend the right knee. Standing figure four, funky chair it's sometimes called. You can bring the hands into heart. You can fold it forward. You're feeling extra tippy. You can come to the wall on the left side. So your left hand can grab onto like a couch or a wall or a chair if you need. Option to take this in to a standing half pigeon. If you want to take that variation, you're going to cradle the right leg in and up into an upright position. If you're taking that standing half pigeon, flex the right toes. Draw the toes back towards the shin. Make sure you feel supported in your right knee. One more breath cycle. In, out. And we'll release the right foot back to the earth. Take a moment. Ground down, fingertips alongside, mountain pose. And here, notice the sensation, the connection to the left foot versus the right. Noticing where you feel more open, where you feel resistance, where you feel activation, where you feel a slackening. Opening the eyes, draw the hands back in towards center. Right foot standing this time. Inhale, lift the left knee. Find that steady gaze point. Open the knee out towards the left. Back through center, keeping the left toes flexed. Trying to keep this nice angle as well. Drawing the foot right underneath the knee. Opening it up. Back into center, lengthen the left leg. Fingertips behind the head. Exhale, draw elbows in, a rounding, a catching of the spine as you draw towards your knee. Inhale, back upright, draw elbows wide. Exhale. Inhale. One more time, draw it in. Challenging our core, our balance. There's a lot happening here. Giving yourself permission to soften, bend the knee, coming into a standing figure 4. Hands can come into heart. And notice on this side, feeling steady. Do you have the space? Do you want to try on that standing half pigeon? Do you want to stay in the standing figure 4 position? So if you want to try on that standing pigeon, wrap the left hand underneath the outer shin, right hand to the outside of the foot. Press into the standing leg to straighten as you draw the shin in towards belly. Making sure wherever you are, standing pigeon, half pigeon, or figure 4, flex the left toes back towards shin, activating that whole left leg. One more breath in and out. Release back to 2 feet, right underneath the hips, arms alongside. We'll take a few breaths, mountain pose. Using this pose to recenter, reground, and notice. Does the energy flow feel a little more even? Down to the soles of your feet. For me, it does. Your eyes are closed. Float your eyes open. From here, left leg standing. We'll inhale, lift that right leg up. Reach the hands up, palms face each other. And then from here, as you draw that knee in, you're going to shift back through warrior 3. Reach the hands forward. The leg shoots back. And then ground into high crescent lunge. Bring the hands to the earth. Spin the back foot. So you want the front heel to line up with the back foot as you spiral your arms open into warrior 2. Nice, we've already done a lot of work to open this inner leg line. So feeling that left knee draw left. We're gonna bring the right hand back behind the hamstring. Press the hamstring back into that right hand. Sometimes in warrior 2, we tend to collapse into this right hip. So you really do want to draw that right hip back. Press the hamstring towards that long edge of your sticky mat. Keep that leg engagement as you reach the arms back long. Nice. Holding, breathing. Have your block handy at the top edge of your mat. From here, straighten the front leg. Reach the arms up. Exhale, float back in. Using the breath like a jellyfish. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale up. Exhale. Pause and stay with bent knee. Bring that left hand to the block on the outside of the left foot. Block can be 3 different heights. You might even have space for bring fingertips to the floor. For me, the block highest height is what works best. You're going to spin the heart towards that left knee. Reach the hand forward, palm faces in towards your center. From here, keep the block as support. Keep the legs where they are. Spin the heart open towards that right for a side angle. You're reaching the right hand out of the right foot. Press into the outer edge of the right foot. See if you can press the right hamstring back to that back long edge of your mat behind you. One more breath. Spin the heart back to the earth. Come on to the ball of the back foot so you're in that runners. Block is going to come to the top of your mat so you can float into a supported warrior 3. For me, block at the highest height brings my spine a little more parallel with the floor. Again, if you don't have a block, you might have something else handy, even a chair or fingertips to the earth. You want to ground your hands because we're going to come into a little bit of a tricky move. Bend my right knee, open that right hip. You can stay with both hands to the block or left hand to the block. Right hand reaches towards the sky. A variation of a bent knee, half moon. If half moon wasn't hard enough, we'll make it more tricky by adding something different. Nice, couple more breaths. If you're tipping, that's fine. Maybe you fall, come back in. If you want to add in that quad stretch, you can reach the right hand back to the outer right ankle, hook it, and press and kick. Shavasana, this one's called. Nice. Next, exhale, releasing out. Fold it forward, ground both feet. Releasing hands down towards the earth, where you might take a different variation, ragdoll arms. We're hooking peace fingers for that Padangustasana. Make this a resting pose. Bring some ease, some regrounding, some recentering. Nice if you have a bind or the hands are hooked. Unwind, bring hands to the floor. You bend the knees, tuck yourself in, and unfurl yourself as you stand and rise. Press into the feet. As you rise up, sweep the hands up. We'll keep the hands lifted. Reach the fingertips up out of waistline. Soften shoulders down. Extended mountain. Nice. From here, right foot is standing. Draw that left leg straight out in front. From here, you're going to sweep it back. Come into that warrior three. But it doesn't work to keep hands reaching forward if it's too much. Draw the hands into heart center. Allow the thumbs to help lift your heart space. One more breath in. And step back into that high lunge. Bring the hands down. Spin and plant the back foot. Heel to back arch alignment. Spiral your way up. Nice, I'll turn around so I'm facing you so I can see. Nice, from here we're going to bring that same leg activation. So you're lunging the right knee out of waistline. And that left hamstring, bring the hand to the back of the left thigh as you press the back thigh into hand. Feel that front hip engagement, then lengthen, arms back out. Nice. Inhale like a jellyfish. You're gonna let yourself float and lift. Exhale, sink and ground. Find that full leg engagement, both sides. Inhale, rise it up. Exhale, settle it in. One more time, in, up. Out and down. Great. From here, right hand's gonna come down to the block on the right side, outside of that right foot. You spin the heart towards the right knee to start. Find engagement in the legs. Make sure you're not dumping into that front left hip. Hamstring still reaching back. Reach the fingertips forward, palm faces in towards center. And then spin yourself open. Reaching left fingertips out of the back edge of the left foot. Oh, really nice. Yeah, finding that side body line. Spread your breath into the side ribs. You can hug that right outer knee in towards that right arm. Nice. Spinning heart back to the earth. We're going to bring the hands to the block and float that back leg into supported warrior three. So if that last time we went into that half moon, it felt too challenging, too tippy, you can stay here. Bend that left knee. Both hands stay on block, or option to have right hand on block. Spin and open the right knee. So that same fire hydrant, lift the left arm up. So you're in half moon with a bent knee. Option to incorporate the quad front hip flexor stretch. Reach the left hand back for inner or outer ankle. Kicking that foot into hand. Shavasana variation. Reach through the crown of the head to lengthen the spine here. Draw navel center in. One more breath in and out, wherever you are right now. Unwind, unhook both feet to meet on the mat, hip distance. We'll take a forward fold. Your variation, option, I invite you to take a Padangustasana, lifting the soles of the feet, tucking the palms underneath, so palms to soles of the feet, and then start to lengthen and fold in from there. If it feels like too much, you're welcome to just bend your knees, hang yourself in a little standing embryo pose. Connect with your breath. Let your breath settle you and hold you here. Nice. If you have the hook of the hands under the feet, releasing the hands from underneath the feet. We're going to step the big toes together to touch. And once again, have your block handy. I'm going to face you so you can see what's going on. We're going to bend the knees and lift the heels, coming into a Malasana Yogi squat variation. Heels are hovering, but you want to make sure the heels and inner soles of the feet come together as you start to broaden the knees. So inner big toe mounds and heels are together as you open the knees wide. Option to have the block underneath the heels if it feels like a lot in the feet or if balance is tippy. You can use the block behind the heels to really ground into this pose. Couple options, you can keep hands to floor or a block. You can hover the hands, whatever serves. Maybe they go wide, maybe they draw in, maybe they lift up. Notice what you feel. Really active in the outer hips and inner thigh line, but creating space with activation. Nice. If hands are floating, you bring the hands back down. We'll walk the knees back to center and straighten the legs. We're just going to step out into a wide leg forward fold. So all 10 toes pointing towards the long edge of your mat. Oh yeah, I was already facing the long edge of my mat. That wasn't a very good transition. Sorry. So facing the long edge of your mat, stepping into that wide leg forward fold. Just drawing the crown of the head down. Maybe it's close to the floor. Maybe it's not. It's not about how low and how far you fold. It's what you feel. Pressing into the outer edges of the feet. Lift the inner arches, inner ankles. Engage the inner leg line. Draw the inner leg line all the way up into groin. Keep that. Quads are firing. Nice, walk hands underneath the shoulders. So you're in a tabletop spine. Let's take a twist. Left hand stays down. Inhale, right fingers go up. Exhale, release. That jellyfish-like motion. Inhaling a lift. Exhale, release. From here, a slight bend in the knees. We'll rise all the way up to standing. Let's heel toe in. A little bit narrower. Maybe a little bit wider than hip distance. It's going to be different for all of us here. From here, we're going to get into that outward external rotation of the hips with a little bit of a fun motion. From here, let's keep our hands to our hips to start. We're going to put a slight bend into our knees, weight into the left foot. Again, I'm not mirroring, so left foot weights in, and you're going to draw the right knee in through center and open and step it back down. So you're ending in this shorter variation of a goddess stance. And just move side to side. Weight into the right foot. Draw the left knee through center. Open it up. Low squat. Or maybe you don't go as low. Back and forth. Side to side. Finding your way. Nice. Be playful. This may not look like yoga. I made it up. So it might be a brand new move. If you want to add the arms, you can use the same arm to lengthen out. It's almost like a wax on, wax off in the Karate Kid. So getting in to the waxing. We'll do one more time each side. It's funny to see yourself doing this. First time I've seen myself alive in the goddess pose. Hands into heart. Nice. I usually don't watch myself do yoga. With the virtual yoga, I get to see myself the whole time. From here, lift it up, lengthen the legs, reach up. Really nice. Draw it in through center, heel toe in. So you're in mountain facing the long edge of your mat. Take a little breather, settling the breath. Beautiful. From here, come to the front edge of your sticky mat. And fold forward. We'll halfway lift. Table to spine. You can bring your hands to shins or thighs. Exhale, release. Stepping big toes together to touch. Lift those heels. And squeeze inner foot line together as the knees broaden. So we're back in that balancing yogi squat. From here, we'll stay for 3 breaths. If you need to add the block behind the heels, please do. The bottom of your 3rd exhale, you're going to gracefully land into a seated Baddha Konasana. Have your block handy. Actually, more than handy, we'll place the block right away. Bring the block the medium width in between the soles of your feet. Again, if you don't have a block, no worries. Just press the soles of your feet together. If you have the block, bring the block in. So the closer your block or your heels are in, the more intense this is going to be. If you need less intensity, you walk the block or heels away from groin line. Nice. From here, lift the arms up to lengthen the spine. Squeeze the block or squeeze the inner soles of the feet together. From here, you're just going to keep the spine long as you reach forward to your degree. It might just be a little tipping forward. You might have a lot of space, but we're not rounding the spine. Spine stays long, dropping the outer knees down towards the floor. Inhale, back into that upright spine. Keep reaching hands forward. We're going to start to recline back. Keep squeezing block or soles of the feet. So you're in this boat pose in the upper spine. You can keep feet and block grounded, or if you'd like an extra challenge, you're going to float the block or float the feet off the floor. Keep the spine lifted, so you're in a Baddha Konasana boat pose. Squeeze the block, feel your inner thigh line, and set it down. Reach the hands up, lengthen spine to neutral, and reach it forward. We're going to do that one more time. Reach up, reach the hands forward, recline back, choose to keep block or heels grounded, or lift and hover. Squeezing in towards center. One more breath. Nice. From here, set the block down, and we're going to recline our way all the way to our block, to our backs. And if you have the block, you're going to place your feet on top of the block. So feet are on top of the block, and then opening the soles of the feet. If you don't have the block, just start to open soles of the feet. Releasing into the floor, bring the arms wide, palms face up. So a really soft Baddha Konasana. If it feels like too much with feet to blocks, remove the block. This lift of the feet gives you a little bit more opener into this inner thigh line. So sometimes the outer hips are really tight and restricted in range of motion because the inner thigh line is weak. So today we worked on strengthening the inner thigh line to increase range of motion in the outer and inner hip. Nice. From here, if you have your feet to the blocks, we'll bring our feet back to the floor, scoot the block off to the side, draw the knees back in through center. Bring the feet nice and wide, and we're just going to windshield wiper side to side here. Nice. Feeling for sensation on the outer and inner legs. This next time the knees go left, we'll pause. So the outer left knee is pressing down towards the floor, the inner right knee is pressing down. For me, I like to walk my right heel in towards my right bum a little bit. You can stay here, sweeping the right hand overhead, clasping the left wrist, or the right wrist to the left hand. You're welcome to hook the left outer ankle over the outer knee. That same motion we did in the beginning of the class, different pose. You're gonna lunge that right knee out of waistline. So creating a little bit more space in the right waist. Reaching the right fingertips out of waistline in the other direction, creating space along the right side rib basket. Notice if there's any holding. Can you soften and keep the activation, but soften into the pose? Nice. If you have the hook of the wrist or ankle, bring the arms back alongside, unhook the ankle, draw the knees back through center. Just a few windshield wipers side to side, allowing this free movement to wiggle. Feel into sacrum, hips, legs. Next time knees go towards the right, we'll pause for the other side. Right outer knee down, left inner knee comes down. Option to walk the left foot back towards the left glute. Option to hook the right ankle over the top of the left knee. Reach the left hand up and out. You can hook the left wrist with the right hand to intensify this upper side body stretch. Bring awareness to lunging, reaching that left knee away from face. Create space with activation. Send your breath, your awareness where you need it. Nice. Coming back through center, unhooking the wrist and the ankle. I love to see it when pets wander through your practice. It's one of my favorites. Windshield wiper side to side a couple more times. And then we'll end with a gentle inversion. Those with a block, bring the block underneath sacrum. If you don't have a block, you might move to a wall or even a couch and sweep your legs up the wall or hook your legs over a couch or chair. If you have the block, lift the hips. Block to lowest or medium height usually works the best. Make sure it's right underneath the hips, not the low back. And then you can keep the feet on the floor, knees bent for an elevated supported bridge, or for the Viparita, full variation, Viparita Karani, or sometimes called waterfall, inverted leg pose, reaching the legs long towards the sky. Again, anytime you lengthen the legs and there's a lot of resistance in the hamstrings, which is the case for some of us, put a gentle bend in the knees. Really allow yourself a little more space. You don't want to be struggling through poses. You want to be able to access some new space. So giving yourself some permission to bend the knees if you need there. Nice. In your inversion, whether it's legs up the wall or legs to couch, Viparita, inverted bridge. We'll take 3 cleansing breaths. So next, inhale through the nostrils. Open the mouth and just sigh it out. Inhale through the nose. Open mouth. One more time. Inhale. Let it go. Your feet are off the ground. Bring your feet back to the earth. If your hips are to the block, lift the hips, set the block to the side. If you're cozy with legs up the wall or legs to couch, you can stay there. Otherwise, we'll find our way into Shavasana on our backs. If your low back tends to be tender or aggravated in Shavasana, keep your feet to the floor, walk your feet wide, knock inner knees together. If your body's happy with legs long, bring your legs nice and long and take up some space. Maybe you're restricted even more than in the studio. Maybe you have lots of space because you're practicing from home. Arms are wide and open, palms are facing up. And then before we really settle in, we'll bring a little bit of activation. So spin the toes towards the sky, and pressing down on the back side of body. So press into heels, press into calves, maybe the back of your thighs press, backs of the hips, a low belly draws in, maybe low spine is floated, but a drawing down a full spine, shoulder blades towards the earth, a slight pressing of the back of the head, and then heavy arms, backs of the hands pressed down. So really feeling like how strong this pose is. It's just like a standing mountain, but supported. Take one more breath in this active Shavasana. And then soften and let it all go. Allow the feet to turn out if that's what they want to do. Release the tension in the shoulders. Release the pressing of the body into the floor and let gravity anchor the body down. Soften the breath. Let the breath just flow at its natural rhythm. Invite you to close your eyes here. I will stay with you through this Shavasana and we'll come out together. If you have time and you'd like to stay for a longer Shavasana, just go ahead and mute the audio on your device, and then you're free to stay without interruption or whatever works in your day. Otherwise, if you're going to come out together, we'll just soften and settle in to stillness and quietness. Part of the beauty of practicing from our own homes is you might become aware of new sounds in your space, in your living space. Maybe as you lay in this Shavasana, you might hear birds on the outside. You might hear other people in your home. Knowing we can cultivate quiet, still space, but the world is never quiet. And even if the world is all the way silent, if we can control all those external noises, the internal mind, the internal dialogue can be the loudest and the noisiest. So just inviting in whatever sounds you hear, whatever thoughts flow, allow them to flow through you and release out. Searching for the silence, searching for the quietness and stillness as much as we can. Your awareness into the sound of your breath. You don't need to change your breathing. Just notice the sound as it comes in through the nostrils and out, or perhaps you're breathing through an open mouth. Even with a gentle, calm, slow breath, breath has sound. Perhaps just by that gentle awareness around the breath, it starts to deepen. Without forcing the breath, take a few fuller inhales and exhales. And then we'll come out of the Shavasana the same way we came in. So activate. Turn the toes towards the sky. Press into the heels. Press down into the backs of the legs, hips. Drawing the front body in towards the back body. Draw shoulders down towards the earth. A slight pressing on the back of the head. And the pressing down into the hand. Anchoring of the arm bones towards the earth. Reaching through the limbs. We'll draw the knees in towards belly and towards heart and roll to the side. You can choose right side or left side, wherever you have space to roll. And we'll draw ourselves up to a seat. I invite you to bring your hands together in front of your heart, using this mudra, this hand position, as an honoring of self, an honoring of others. And what I'd like to be putting my awareness on lately is the honoring of the connection, the interconnection of all of us, all humans, plants, animals on this earth, and how important that interconnection is. We'll tuck the chin, do a little bow in towards all those things. Namaste. Thank you so much, all.